The Raptors' biggest problem, as I've said all along, it's not their history and the psychological, the shadow of them choking in the past or whatever else. The problem with them really is they play an excellent brand of basketball throughout most of the game. And then in crunch time, they tend to as a proportion to the rest of the game, overly ISO their two best players, DeRozan and Lowry. I mean, if you watched late in that game, Lowry dribble, loses the handle, gets it back, dribble, uses up all the time. The shot clock shoots a three and misses. That's really not what you want to see. The fundamental problem is their best players, including DeRozan, who Stephen A. was giving credit to start the show. He's special. The fact is, neither one is special enough, Stephen A. Neither DeRozan nor Kyle Lowry are good enough, quite, to play hero ball at the end of games and win. They're good enough to be the best players on a team that shares the ball and continues to play the right way late in games. When they've done that, they've won. When they've reverted to form, when the two of those guys ISO a little too much, they've lost. The reason for concern would be that the best player on the floor is John Wall. And you saw what he did last night, and so you have to, but that's assuming that the Wizards can get their chemistry together enough to win the next 2 out of 3. And I have not seen that all year from the Wizards, and I do not anticipate that going forward.
It's interesting because it's a couple of things just covering this game last night being there. Here's the deal, Max Kellerman. A couple of things we need to say. We need to get this out of the way. John Wall is special competitor. He is the box office attraction for the Washington Wizards. There's a reason he's the $175 million man. Because this brother shows up and he does electrifying stuff. Only shot 41% from the field last night. But the bottom line is he finished with 27 points and 14 assists. And more importantly, he's completely validated and proven that the Washington Wizards are not a better team without him. And the fact that you had Gortat tweeting stuff, Bill alluding to stuff, and others sitting there talking about I forgot what the phrase was, but everybody touching the ball and everybody gets to eat and all of this other stuff. All of them need to shut the hell up. John Wall is the man for that team, but so is Bradley Beal, who, by the way, came into last night's game only averaging 1.4 points in the fourth quarter of the first 2 playoff games. But yesterday, he showed up. And give him love and give him credit for that. I hope the Beals are listening because the parents were sitting right by me. I hope they're listening. I had to give their son some love. Now, having said all of that, let's be very, very clear about something. Did any of y'all see Kyle Lowry's face after the game? Did you see him at the press conference? Because I spoke to him in the locker room. And I spoke to DeRozan in the locker room. And Kyle Lowry pointed to Van Vliet because I'm like, y'all look too much like last year, where Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan on too many pivotal moments were the only offensive weapons on the floor, and the other 3 guys were virtually non-existent. That was a mistake I was shocked that Dwayne Casey, one of the great coaches in the NBA, had made yesterday, because he usually hadn't made that mistake before. Kyle Lowry looked at me and pointed right to Fred VanVleet. Why? Because this brother shoots 41% from three-point range. You usually would have him in the game. He didn't play yesterday because he's injured. So because he didn't play, you didn't have that requisite perimeter weapon to assist in spreading the floor. They anticipate and hope that he will come back. And Kyle Lowry and them boys sat up there, and I tell you, Max Kellerman, I'm not lying to you, bro. I've never seen a team more relaxed and nonchalant after a loss in the postseason game in recent memory. Kyle Lowry was chilling. He did everything but grab a bowl of Crunch Berries and eat it right in front of my face. He was not concerned. He was not concerned at all. Their attitude is, look, man, it was an aberration. One game. Yeah, they got us. So be it. It's tied 2-2. All right, we'll see. We still intend on handling our business. We're not worried about it at all. And then afterwards, he goes to the postseason, to the post-game podium, and he sits up there and he's just looking. I mean, I wish y'all could have footage of his face. He was just sitting up there looking at the media like, yeah, whatever. And so be it. They are not concerned about the Wizards at all. And if you are the Wizards, you better be mindful of that. You better smell blood and you better go after it. Because if they win Game 5, that means they come into Game 6 Friday night at the Verizon Center in Chocolate City with house money, because they know they got a Game 7 back on their home court. And that's what you don't want. The Wizards got to be concerned about it. They better be ready to handle their business game 5. They better be ready to go at Toronto, because I'm telling you right now, Toronto is going to try to blow them out the building in game 5, and they better be ready.
A word about the best player on each team, Stephen A., which is DeMar DeRozan and John Wall. You know, John Wall is the best player on either team. He is not only probably the fastest player in the league, can stop on a dime, can like change direction and change his speed probably better than anyone in the league, and is also a totally elite passer, can finish in the paint, everything. The thing he can't do very well is shoot from distance. He can't shoot, he's not a pure shooter. It's the same thing with DeRozan, not a pure shooter. So he's taking more threes, and so they have to respect the threat a little bit more, but not a great shooter. Same thing with Westbrook and others. And when you talk about the very best of the best in the NBA, unless you're close to 7 feet tall, right? Unless you're over 6'8". So you look at Ben Simmons or the Greek Freak, they can get away with not being great shooters yet. And even if they never become great shooters because of their size and everything else they can do so well. But guys like even John Wall level talent, or I would take a little quarter step below that, DeRozan really can't be. And so if it comes with the Wizards, it does too often come down to hero ball with John Wall, and I don't think that's going to be enough for them. I think the chemistry is fractured on that team. And with the Raptors, I think they have a better chance to win generally, because no, DeRozan's not good enough to play hero ball and win, but when they're sharing the ball, that is a well-oiled offense, and they also play really good team defense.